E3 is dead. But this is no time to mourn. This is no time at all, because we have a potential Direct on the horizon. Hello everyone, and welcome to another Nintendo Direct discussion video. Today I will be covering my final expectations and hopes for the upcoming, not E3, E3 Direct, supposedly happening some point in June. Some of you who have been following this channel for a while will know that I already made a video predicting Nintendo's 2022 at the start of the year, including predictions for E3. This video isn't overriding what I said in that video. At the end of the year, I'm still going to make fun of myself for the ways in which I was so incredibly wrong in that video. But a lot has changed since then, so I wanted to make some updated expectations for this June presentation with all of the information available to us now. Before we get started, I'd just like to say that if you enjoy this sort of content, please consider liking the video and subscribing, as it helps the channel out hugely. With all that out of the way, let's get into it. First up, I will cover things that I think we can absolutely 100% expect to see at this upcoming Direct. Firstly, I think we will definitely see a new trailer for Xenoblade Chronicles 3, because the time feels about right for a new one, and I think it will be the perfect time to give us the definitive trailer which will elaborate on everything already teased and get everyone really hyped up for the game before it releases next month. I also think it's likely we will get another trailer for Bayonetta 3, which will come with a release date. If this doesn't happen, then I think it's probably going to get delayed until next year, as the next window for a release date to be given would be the September Direct, and that feels a little too late in the year to be giving us a release date. I'm also certain that in this Direct, we will get news of a free update coming to Mario Strikers Battle League, which will confirm Daisy is coming to the game with a gameplay trailer, and I can see them also teasing another character coming to the game too by showing us a render of the character with the game's artistic flair. I think it will be Bowser Jr. racing into Strike in his clown car. Speaking of racing, I think we are also 100% going to see the next wave of the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass. I won't list all the tracks I think we will get here, but among them I think we will get Waluigi Pinball, Singapore Speedway, and Peach Beach. We're also definitely seeing another trailer for Splatoon 3 here too. It won't tell us everything, because that'll be saved for a game-specific Direct around August, I think, but I am sure that they'll finally reveal the reason this game exists, despite Splatoon 2 being on the same console. An entire game mode, which justifies making a whole new game for. A Battle Royale mode. It just makes too much sense to me. The theme of the game is chaos. Battle Royale games are very chaotic. Plus, the development on this game would have started around the time when Battle Royale games were at their peak of popularity. In the past, we've seen Nintendo do this sort of thing before, with Salmon Run being a clear spin on Call of Duty Zombies, and the entirety of the base formula of the Splatoon games being Nintendo's take on the shooter genre. So I think it's pretty safe to predict they'll finally be trying their hand at a Battle Royale mode. And finally, the last thing I think we can, without a doubt, expect to see is the sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Just writing this title into the script filled me with a huge rush of hype, because it dawned on me that after all this time, we're almost certainly going to be seeing this game again. I think we will get the first full trailer for the game, which reveals the key mechanics, whatever they're doing with the game's dungeons, some story details, a music track playing in the background, which will likely be one of the best in the entirety of the game's soundtrack, the release month, as well as, finally, the game's full title. If all of these games were to show up at the June Direct, which I'm certain they will, with of course a few of the predictions I'm going to label as less likely, as well as a few third-party bits and bobs, then I think we'll be in for a hell of a presentation. The next couple of games are ones which I think are pretty likely to show up in the presentation, but not 100% likely, hence why they're here in the 75% category. First up, a new trailer for Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes. This was going to be in the 100% category, but I feel the closer we get to its release, the less likely we are to get another full trailer for the game in a Direct. I think it will most likely get a brief mention on a sizzle reel near the end of the presentation, just to remind people it's releasing in the next week or so, or has already released. We could also potentially see some new games coming to the Nintendo Switch Online service. Do I think it will be a new console like the GameCube or the Game Boy? Absolutely not. They're going to drag these NSO games out until the end of time and be drip feeding us with the occasional new thing for it until the Switch reaches its bitter end. Another thing which I think is pretty likely to show up, but also isn't, is Mario + Rabbids Sparks of Hope. The trailers for the Mario Rabbids games have mainly been in Ubisoft presentations, which makes me think it won't be here at the Nintendo one, but as of writing this, Ubisoft are yet to confirm that they'll be having a presentation this month, which makes me want to give it a solid chance of making an appearance in the June Nintendo Direct. The last prediction I have for the 75% category is news on the Metroid Prime HD remaster. I think after the success of Metroid Dread, they'll want to get something Metroid out to capitalize on the success of that game and the Metroid hype which is now circulating. And what better than a remaster of the first game in a series which is due for its 4th entry in the next couple of years. Now, at the 50% mark, this is where things start to become a little more hazy. These are also things I think have a solid enough chance of being at the June presentation, but I also wouldn't be surprised if they weren't here at all. The first thing I've got is a U-turn from one of my initial predictions for 2022, and that just happens to be my prediction for Super Mario Odyssey 2. I originally said that this game would be the final reveal at the September Direct, but for reasons I'll discuss later, I've swapped this game with another one. I also do think it's the perfect time to reveal this game to be coming out late next year to get people hyped up for the true repeat of 2017 with a 3D Zelda at the start of the year and a 3D Mario by the end. It's been ages since the last full-fledged entry in the 3D Mario series, and I'm not sure whether it will be an Odyssey 2 or something completely new. But maybe we'll see soon. In this category, we also have Hollow Knight Silksong. This was originally going to go in the Hopes segment at the end of the video, and then the game got a trailer at the Xbox Bethesda presentation, so I think there may be a chance of it showing up at Nintendo's too. Either the same trailer as in the Xbox presentation, or if we are lucky, some new footage. Any other year, I would not be making this prediction, and this game would be in the 0% section. But I think since a few months ago we got Earthbound games on the NSO service, it's finally time for something Earthbound. Will it be a remake, or a brand new thing? I'm not sure, but I think it has a chance now more than ever. The last thing I'd like to discuss in this section is Nintendo Switch Sports. We all know this game is due for the Golf update, but not until autumn time. So I feel it's both likely and unlikely. Because a part of me is thinking, why would they show this so early? It's literally just Golf. But another part of me is saying, it's Nintendo, they're totally going to show us Golf 3 to 4 months in advance. So that's why this prediction is here in the 50% category, because I'm a little indecisive about it. Next up, we have the 25% category. These are games which I think have a chance of showing up, but we need some sort of miracle for it to happen. The first of these games I'd like to discuss is the game I've swapped out for Odyssey 2. Metroid Prime 4. It's been over 3 years since they restarted development on this game, and in my initial predictions for this year, I thought we'd see it here at E3 as the one last thing they show in the Direct. But after some reflection, I'm going to do another U-turn. I still think it's too early for any more news on this game. I think the earliest we will see it is June next year, when they're potentially more certain of a time frame in which it will be ready for release. But I also don't think it's completely out of the realms of possibility either, hence why it's here at 25% and not 0%. Another game from 2017 which I think has a slither of a chance of finally getting to see the light of day again is ARMS, specifically a sequel to it. ARMS 2. A game which improves on all of the shortcomings of the first game's lack of gameplay depth and single-player experience. A trailer which gets everyone hyped up to see ARMS again. I think this is more likely than not because all the other games from 2017 seem to be getting sequels other than ARMS. So maybe we'll finally see it again. Now, a quick word on Advanced Wars. I still don't think they're ready to talk about this game yet, considering the current real-world predicament, but I think there's still a small chance it's here in June, but most likely the earliest we will see this is September. The last thing I have for this category is Persona 3, 4, and 5 on Switch. This was originally only a hope at the end of the video, as the series has mainly been a PlayStation exclusive one for the longest of times. But then, the games showed up at the Xbox Bethesda presentation, so now I think it's at least a little likely that these games can finally grace the shelves of the Nintendo eShop. There's also a few things which I think we won't see at the presentation at all. This is the 0% category, and if any of these games show up in any degree, then I'm going to look like a right fool, but I'm pretty confident that they won't. The first of these is Pokémon. I see people predict Pokémon at every E3 Direct, and it literally never happens. The Pokémon company always just do their own thing, so I refuse... Lovely engine noise that. The Pokémon company always just do their own thing, so I refuse to be so foolish, and I'm going to say that it won't be present at Nintendo's presentation at all. The next thing I don't think we're going to see is anything else of the Mario movie. I just think it's a little early since it's been delayed until spring of next year, and I think they'll want to wait a little closer to the time to give us a trailer for this movie. I also don't think we'll see a Zelda game this year. Neither 3D nor top-down. This is simply because Breath of the Wild 2 was planned for this year, and I don't think they'll have had time to get another Zelda game ready for this year. There's also a few things which just never show up anyway, and that's of course F-Zero, Star Fox, Kid Icarus, Fossil Fighters, and Pikmin. Maybe someday, but not today. In this presentation, there's a few things which I think are so incredibly unlikely to appear. But they are things I would freak out if they did appear, and hence why they're here in the hopes section of the video. There's a few things which of course I'm hoping for in the Direct, like Breath of the Wild 2 and Xenoblade 3, but since I've already discussed them in the expectations sections, I didn't feel the need to do it again here. The first hope I have is for a new Donkey Kong. I just finished Tropical Freeze, it was awesome, and I'd love to see more. But we know Retro Studios are working on Metroid Prime 4, so I don't think it's going to happen for a while. I know there's a rumor about the Odyssey team working on a Donkey Kong game, but I think they're probably working on, you know, Mario? I also think it would be cool to get some DLC boards for Mario Party Superstars. I'm pretty sure that more boards were data mined, but I feel DLC might have missed its time for this game. Hence why 'tis but a hope. I'm also currently enjoying Dark Souls Remastered on Switch, so I think it'd be neat to get some more FromSoft games on the Switch. Not that any of them would run very well, but I still hope to see them. I also hope that we get a Xenoblade Chronicles 3 themed Pro Controller, but I don't see this happening because Nintendo rarely does themed controllers these days, unfortunately. I'd like to also see some DLC for Metroid Dread and Kirby and the Forgotten Land. The Dread mode and boss rush updates for Dread are awesome, but a new side story or new areas to explore would be awesome. The same goes for Kirby too. I love both of these games and I want to play more of them. And with that, I conclude my expectations and hopes for this year's E3. Here are some of the predictions and hopes of my followers on Twitter. If you'd like the chance to be featured in a video, follow me on Twitter @FakePhantom. What are your expectations and hopes for this year's E3? Feel free to discuss in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like and subscribing so you don't miss any more of my Nintendo related content. Thank you very much for watching, stay safe out there, and I will see you in the next one.